So the one thing we cannot do is be complacent about the quality of that, and the availability of that provision.
Okay. Dor, where would you land it? Would you say that we are in a good place in England?
I think historically we've got a very good history of it, but I don't think we're in a good place in all frank. I think we've got a population, England and Wales have got a population of 58 million. That's 10 million over 65. That's going to increase to 16 million by 2037. That's ONS figures. And that's going to 60% increase in workload for essentially transpired to palliative care. We've got evidence for this Merters paper showing 69 to 82% of patients are going to need specialist palliative care. And we've got a diminishing workforce which is really, really struggling. Plus, on top of that, we've got, this is predominantly funded by the charitable sector. 1/3 is commissioned by the state. 2/3, as my esteemed colleague Sue Ryder's report will say, it's charitably funded. By having, and by the way, the workforce report just last week does not even mention the charitable medical workforce at all. So we've got a acceptance of a charitably funded sector in which is going to breed an element of inequality because it is charitably funded. So it's feeding for its charitable donations, as opposed to a state-funded system, which I think we all really want.
Okay, so then following on from that, to what extent do you feel, or maybe you don't, do you feel that it's not in a very good place, to quote you, but to what extent do you feel that drives the agenda of those who would like to see a change in the law around medical assisted dying?
Thank you. So I think it's bonkers that we are talking about having an assisted dying, assisted suicide bill, which would be 100% commissioned and funded by the NHS, when we leave palliative care, the sector of that, to be funded by the charitable sector. That is the state essentially endorsing death while not funding and paying for palliative care. That would be, if I was to phrase it another way, I think that the main proponents of this are regarding choice, and we should be able to my body, my choice. Now, I know you know the law a lot better than I do, but my understanding of the law is that there is individual autonomy versus public safety. So, for example, when I flew here, I couldn't open the door to the airplane. I can't choose to do that because it kills everyone else. Same reason we have speed limits. We have 30-mile-per-hour speed limit because it's the individual autonomy of driving the car versus the public safety down a street, and driving 100, you get arrested because you are risk to other people. The main argument I would put forward to the esteemed committee regarding assisted dying and assisted suicide is that this is a public safety issue, because if you legalise this, you're going to risk the wider majority of the population. If it pleased you guys, I would love to bring a historical precedence behind that. So the historical precedence, I believe, is in capital punishment, which was, as you know, abolished over in the 70s, 73. And that was abolished based on the fact of there were errors. We hung people who subsequently were proved to be innocent. That was with a full judicial process. Judges, juries, and beyond reasonable doubt, months of deliberation. And despite that, we got it wrong. So what we're talking about here is two doctors making that choice so many weeks apart. Two doctors who don't have access to all the things the judges and juries and all those have to make that decision. Then, well, you could say, well, it's their choice. But diagnosis is uncertain. We've got a spate of M&D diagnoses which are wrong. Prognosis, very well documented, is uncertain. And autonomy is relational. It's who you've got around you. We know 1 in 5 have got hidden elder abuse. We know these numbers. So what we've got is essentially a situation in which you're going to advocate and there's going to be incorrect deaths. So my question to you guys is how many incorrect deaths justify the fact of the right to preemptively kill yourself early? That is what fundamentally. The APM position, by the way, is that we're against this in healthcare, certainly palliative care.
Okay, thank you for that. And then Dr. Perkins, just finally from you on this